and welcome to our new topic for this term. So today we are starting a new geography topic, and it is going to be a comparison study between Bradley Stoke and London. So what a comparison study means we are going to compare the two places. So we are going to look at the similarities, the things that are the same, and the differences, the things that are different. So first, we are going to recap our previous geography topic that we did at the beginning of the school year, so back in September. So can you remember the 4 countries that make up the United Kingdom? 4 countries that make up the United Kingdom. One of them is the country that we live in, so that is your clue. Have a think. I am going to give you 30 seconds to see if you can remember the 4 countries that make up the United Kingdom. Okay, let's have a look then. So our 4 countries that make up the United Kingdom are England, Scotland, Wales, and Northern Ireland. So there are our 4 countries that make up the United Kingdom, or the UK, as it is known for short. So your next job, can you remember where each of the countries are? So you might be able to see on the map there are some lines to separate, and I'm just going to go over them in blue so you can see them a bit clearer. So that separates one part. Here, there's a country down, and this bit over here. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm going to point to one of the countries. Can you remember which country this is? So this bit at the bottom, can you remember which country that one is? That country is England, which is where we live. Next one then, can you remember which of the 3 we've got left is Scotland? Which of these is Scotland? It is the one at the top, so on top of England. Next one, can you remember which bit is Wales? Which of the 2 countries we've got left is Wales? Is it this one here next to England? Or is it this one over here? It is this one here next to England, which means our last one over here is Northern Ireland. So this bit at the top is Northern Ireland. Remember that this bit, the Republic of Ireland, is not part of the UK. So this bit and this part together is the United Kingdom, whereas all of it is Great Britain. Okay, next job, bit trickier. Can you remember the capital cities for each country? Let's start with England. This one I reckon we will know. The capital city of England, the big city where the Queen lives, begins with a O. Can you remember? It is London. So the capital city of England is London. What about then the capital city of Wales? I'm sure lots of you will have been there before. It begins with a K. It is Cardiff. Okay, the capital city of Scotland. It begins with an E. It is Edinburgh. And then the capital city of Northern Ireland is Belfast. So there are our 4 countries and their 4 capital cities. Okay, this one, I did give you a clue at the start. Can you remember where we live and the town where our school is? So most of us, most of you, will live in this town. Some of you might not, some of you might live in a slightly different town. But everybody's school is in this town. Can you remember what our town is called? It is Bradley Stoke. So our town is Bradley Stoke. Now what I would like you to do is pause the video here and see if you can point to where you think Bradley Stoke is on this map. Did you get it right? So we know that Bradley Stoke is in the southwest, so it's going to be down here. Some of you might know that our city we live in, so Bradley Stoke is our town, our city is Bristol. Can you spot Bristol on the map? There is Bristol, and Bradley Stoke is North Bristol, so Bradley Stoke is just above Bristol. So I'm going to put a dot about there. It's about there. Obviously the dot is not to scale. Bradley Stoke is teeny tiny in comparison to Bristol, but it is about where I have put that blue dot. So that is where Bradley Stoke is. Can you now pause the video again and spot London? Where is London? Did you find it? London is over here, and you can see they put a star for London because it is the capital. It's a very important city. So there is London. And London is in the southeast of England, so the other side of the country. Okay, so on the map here, I have put a dot for where Bradley Stoke is to London, and I have drawn a line to join them. How long do you think it would take you in a car, so we would drive in the car, to get from Bradley Stoke to London? How long do you think that would take? Okay, let's see if you guessed right. Did you think it would take more than 1 hour? Did you think it would take more than 2 hours? Did you think it would take more than 3 hours? Did you think it would take more than 5 hours? Did you think it would take more than 10 hours? Let's have a look. So I put it into Google Maps. I just put from Bradley Stoke, where I was at school when I did it, to London. And it said it would take 2 hours and 27 minutes, which is about 2.5 hours. That was if you were in the car, traffic dependent. So we know we could drive to London, but how else could we get to London? How else could we get from Bradley Stoke to London? Well, we could get the train. I've got the train to London before. Or we could get the bus or the coach. The National Express is my favourite way of getting to London. I always get the coach when I go to London. So we could go in the car, could go on the train, and we could go in the bus. Could we walk to London? Let's have a bit of a fun guess. If we were to walk to London, how long do you think it would take? Have a think, have a guess. How long do you think it would take to walk to London? Well, I'll tell you. I put it into Google Maps and it said, if we were to walk to London, it would take 38 hours. So that is a whole day, a whole night, and about another whole day. That is how long it would take us to walk to London. And that's with no breaks. So we probably wouldn't walk to London. We'd get the car or the train or the coach or the bus. So today we are going to be exploring the physical features of London and Bradley Stoke. What are physical features, Miss Evans? Well, physical features are features in the landscape that are natural. So these aren't things that have been built by humans. They are things that are made naturally, such as streams, rivers, fields, forests, hills, mountains, hedges, and trees. So what I have done is I have drawn around the outline of the maps of each place, and I have marked on some of the main physical features. So we're going to have a look first at the map of Bradley Stoke. Remember, we are looking for streams and rivers, fields, trees, hills, and things like that. So here is a physical features map of Bradley Stoke. So this bit in the middle is Bradley Stoke, then we've got Almondsbury over here, Patchway, and Stoke Gifford. So as you can see, well, actually, you tell me, what can you see on here? What do you think the blue might be? Hopefully you are saying water. So the blue is water, like streams and rivers. So we have got some streams and rivers in Bradley Stoke. We have got the lake, some of you might know as the Duck Ponds, And then this bit over here is greenery. So that's trees, bushes. This bit is our Three Brooks Nature Reserve. I'm sure that you have all been down to the nature reserve. So this all here is our nature reserve. So this is all greenery. Has anybody ever been up that big hill at the nature reserve? The big, massive hill, really tall. So if there is a big hill at the nature reserve, what do you think the grey bits might be on here? They are hills. So in Bradley Stoke, we have got some greenery, some fields, trees, bushes, some rivers and some lakes and streams and some hills. Then if we have a look at London, what do you notice in London? Obviously, I haven't put every single field on, but I've put some of the main ones on. So you might notice there is a big river running all the way through London, almost through the middle. That is called the River Thames. I don't know if some of you will have watched EastEnders, but you might have seen at the start of EastEnders when it goes do, 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 and it zooms out. You can see this river running all the way through London. If not, have a look at it. So we've got the River Thames. We've got a big park. This is called Hyde Park. And then over here we've got a bit more of a river stream and some more greenery. So if we look and compare the two, it seems like there are a few more physical features in Bradley Stoke, but we need to remember Bradley Stoke is a lot smaller than London. I obviously haven't marked it all, and I've just marked in the main ones that stood out to me. What do they not really have in London that we have in Bradley Stoke? What are the grey bits? The hills. So Bradley Stoke is quite hilly. We've got lots of hills, whereas London is quite flat. So it's quite a flat city with not many hills. So your job today, I have put both physical features maps onto a sheet of paper for you to print out. If you don't want to print it out, you could draw an outline. I would like you to use tissue paper or coloured paper to mark the physical features on an outline of a map of London and of Bradley Stoke. So you could either draw the outline and have a look at this on the screen and use that to help you mark it on, or you could have it printed out with the physical features marked on and go over the river in like a blue tissue paper scrunched up into balls and gluing them on, and then over the green bits in green tissue paper, over the grey bits in grey tissue paper or brown, just to make them stand out and it really get into our head where and what the physical features are in each place. So I hope you enjoyed our first geography lesson of our new topic and enjoy your activity. Bye.